Hi there, my name's Peter Manfield, and today I'm going to teach you how to prepare a 3D model for printing on a 3D printer. So the first thing you're going to need is a software that can slice a 3D model for you. Now what slicing is quite literally slicing a 3D model into multiple layers so that your 3D printer knows how to actually build it up. And if you'd like to get to it, all you have to do is search up Ultimaker CURA, and it's the first link, and download for free. We'll take you through the steps to download. We'll open it up here. And once that's loaded, we will see you might not have a 3D printer already loaded. It might be a default Ultimaker model, but see here, I have an Ender 3. So to get your specific 3D printer, we're going to click Add Printer. If it's an Ultimaker printer, you can select from here, but mine, an Ender 3, I don't have an Ultimaker printer, so I'm going to click Non-Ultimaker Printer. We're going to close this because it's still trying to get us a printer on our network, but mine is not wired, so I'm going to do it wirelessly. And we're going to see here, there's many options to choose from. And for me, I'm going to type Ender. And I've already loaded the preset for Ender 2, and Ender 3 is already loaded on here. So I won't need to add that, but all you'll need to do is click one of them and click Add. You'll have some default settings for you, and you can just click Next. We're not going to play with it right now because we've never printed with this printer, we're assuming. Now, once we've got the software set up, we're going to go and find a 3D model. Now, assuming that you haven't 3D modeled, there's this wonderful website called Thingiverse. Now, if we go to Thingiverse, it's got thousands and thousands of 3D models that other people have made and made public for you to print on your own. Now, I've prepared a 3D model that I'd like to print today just because it's simple and easy to start with. And it's a bit, this little set by P. Mouse. Today, we're going to start with the, let's do the chair. Now, we'll scroll down in Thingiverse once we found our file, and we'll see it has this nice little button to open in Cura. However, if you chose Cura not to be your software, I'll show you how to do it another way. So we'll start with the chair. We'll click Download. We have the chair here as an STL. We'll go to Cura. Just drag it over to the side, and watch how easy this is. I will literally grab it from Google and plop it into Cura. Now it's loaded up. We can go into Cura and really look around. If you want to move the camera, you can just click in your middle mouse button and you can drag it around. To rotate the camera, it is holding right click, and to zoom in and out, it is scrolling the mouse wheel. Now I'm just going to left click the model here, and let's say I'd like it on this side of the print bed. We can do that. I'd like it to be raised a bit. I can do that. Oh, I have it on an auto setting where it will actually put it right to the ground, but by default, it will let you move it up and down. We can click preview on our print here. It says it's 53 minutes. And when we look at it, it looks totally fine. However, if we scroll down in the layers on the right here, we'll see that it builds up, but when it gets to about this layer, it's going to have to make a flat base. Now, when the printer tries to print a completely flat overhang over a large distance, what tends to happen is your printer will start spitting out filament, and then it'll gradually fall down here until it gets to here. And we call it stringing. And what'll end up happening is you'll just get a big spaghetti monster the further up in your print you go, because it's got no base to rely on. Now, to fix that, there's this wonderful setting that is integrated into Cura called the support setting. Now, by clicking this button here under our print settings, we can generate support. And this is just an automatic setting that's been put in for us, where it will put support everywhere that it thinks the printer will have trouble with printing. So we'll start at the bottom. It'll start in the blue. It'll make that little base for us. The red is what's intended to be there. And the nice thing about these supports is that they can break away after you've printed them. So there's no like cutting, and really you don't need a lot of force to get these out. And if you can also play with the print settings. Let's say it's a little bit too like stuck on there, you can actually configure it so that it's a little bit easier to take them off. Now, what you might notice here is that we've jumped up to an hour and 19 minutes compared to our earlier 45 minutes. Now, it's probably because we have a lot of extra support in here. I don't really need all of that. So instead of changing the support itself, we can actually just rotate the model. Now I'm going to put it 90 degrees, and what you'll see is that it doesn't need to fill in all this space here. Now all it needs to do is support these legs because they're the only overhanging thing. You see start at the bottom of the print. Yeah, that's all nice. It's one flat face. Get up. We get to the base of the chair, and what we're doing is we're just filling up, filling up, filling up, and on the side we're starting that support for these legs. We get to the top, and the legs are filled in. Now, once you're done, you can just click Save to Disk, and you can put this wherever you like on your computer. I'm not going to print this, so I'm not going to bother saving it, but I usually put it on my desktop and just click Save, and you can put that onto your SD card or over the network. Now, I'd just like to show briefly how to actually get an STL model considering you might not have one and you model something in Blender. Now, I don't have a model preset in Blender, so I'll show you what you can do is you can go back to your Thingiverse. Let's say we want to do the bench model this time. We'll scroll down to the bench model, we'll download it, and we'll open Blender. Blender isn't as nice as Cura, where you can't drag things into it. So what we'll do instead is we'll go File, Import, and we picked an STL file. We have our bench there. Oh, sorry, which one were we doing? Yes, we were doing our bench. Clicking in the mouse actually lets us rotate, and right-clicking lets us play with some settings. If you'd like to move the camera, it's actually Shift middle mouse button. So a little bit different in Blender. Now we can do whatever we'd like to this model, but for simplicity, I'm just going to show you how to export it into an STL file. By default, Blender likes to export files as, I believe, .blend? Yes, .blend. But we'd like an object file or an STL. So we're going to first select our model with left click. We could also do it here on the right. File, Export, and we'll click STL here. I will save it to my downloads. And now we'll go back to Cura. And again, I cleared the last print just by clicking delete. I'll open up my downloads. And I have my untitled STL is just what I saved. And what you see is we have our bench in here. Now, again, it's once take an hour and 10 minutes. That's a little bit too long for me, and I can see a lot of support I can get rid of. So again, using our same technique, I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees. And now it has a lot less it needs to build. Same thing as before, it'll start at the bottom with a nice base, build up some supports on the side, and get to the very top where it'll finish. Anyways, I hope that helped you out, and see ya.